People like right-wing activist Robbie Starbuck are saying that they are woke. There is an undercurrent that if you acknowledge the existence and perhaps the humanity of people who are LGBTQ or whatever, then suddenly you become woke and suddenly you become entitled to this kind of backlash.
And once again, this right here, depending on where you're watching, either here or there, this tells you, and Abby said that very well. Anytime you're thinking outside of whiteness, outside of what white people need, what white people want, is considered woke. You can't think about nobody else except for white people and keeping them on top. You don't do that, that's what they're gonna call you. Hey, thank you for clicking this video. Just to let you know, this is a clip from my previous live stream that I did. Just want to let you know I go live every Sunday through Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time. And if you don't know what time that is, go ahead and Google that so you can meet me and have a conversation on my next stream. Once again, I appreciate you clicking this video. Now let's enjoy the video. Cracker Barrel. Okay, now once again, I don't think I've ever been to a Cracker Barrel. Okay, like honestly, I don't think there's one in my general area. Like, to be honest, like, and I don't even care enough to Google it. Like, it's just like not important to me, which is fine. But it's crazy how the Republican Party, the same party that says facts over feelings don't mean nothing. Okay, this party. The same party that laughed at people who were trying to warn people of a second Trump term, how he's going to demolish and desecrate and just, ish all over our democracy and consolidate power for him and himself. They laughed and said, oh, you got Trump derangement syndrome. They laughed at us. When the Sydney Sweeney, whatever her name is, don't matter. The commercial, the American Eagle commercial, literally based in eugenics. There's no way, no how you can deny that. And I made a whole video about it, so I'm not going to go into detail. So if you want the details, go watch that. But there's no denying it. And it's based off of historical events, off of data. Hitler himself was obsessed with it and got that obsession from how America treated their black and brown people and how we segregated and how we treated other people. So this is that argument was based on historical events and data. But let a corporation, let a convenience store, from what I know, change their logo. Let them change their logo and just so happen, try to minimalize it. Take the white man off. Okay, I'm sorry, it was a white guy. Take the white man off, and now they're screaming, they're crying, woke. Yes, I mean, nothing is supposed to, ruffle the feathers of this Republican Party. But once again, when they see a white man being taken down for whatever reason, that's the only thing that seems to get them to cry and be the snowflakes that they call everybody else. And it's ridiculous. Trump is sitting here taking people's social safety nets. Prices have not gone down. He is still active in wars, sending troops on American soil, kidnapping people, and a whole list of things. But no, let a logo change and take a white person off. That's what we want to focus on. But don't just hear from me. Let's go ahead and watch CNN.
Of weirdest culture wars, this one's got to rank pretty high. And for one company, an iconic company, the price that it is paying is also very high. Here's the bottom line, at least we think. Cracker Barrel has updated its logo. You see it right there. The redesigned logo and decor whether you love it or hate it, is change. It's pretty standard for companies to update from time to time, but not according to MAGA. The right is now calling the chain woke, and the stock price fell off a cliff today over it. Some of them are upset that they took away Uncle Herschel. The president's son asked, what the F is wrong with them? One MAGA account with nearly 4 million followers said that the CEO should face charges for this crime against humanity. And a MAGA podcaster took it one step further.
And got rid of the cracker and the barrel. They erased the white guy sitting outside of the Cracker Barrel store. White people are about to riot. It's getting sticky because the CEO of Cracker Barrel is as woke as they come. She's destroying a great American brand.
They are mad. They are ready to riot over a logo change. Well, once again, let's let that marinate. Not because prices are still too damn high. Not because that Americans have no sort of way to bounce back when, you know, a $300 bill comes out of nowhere and destroys a family. No, we're not going to talk about that. We, white folks, not we, I'm sorry. This is not my fight. White folks are mad because of a logo change. In his words, not mine, they took the cracker out the logo. Once again, not my words, his words. That's all that hey, we're going to get into it. But long story short, that's all that matters to the Republican Party is whiteness. They don't care about nothing else. They don't care about policies. They don't care about economics. They don't care about immigration. They just care about whiteness. Whatever that looks like, pretty bland, but at the end of the day, that's all they care about.
I don't know if this is satire or what, but yeah, I guess they got rid of the cracker, his words, and the barrel at the same time. And so now it's about to be Civil War Part 2 in the country. Make it make sense.
First off, I think it's wrong to paint this as MAGA world is outraged. Sure, there are people in that sphere that are, but I've seen a lot of folks who have no allegiance or alliance to MAGA that have complained about this. And why? It's because there's a resistance to change, specifically a resistance to changing things that aren't broken. And Cracker Barrel works because Cracker Barrel is consistent. When you go on a road trip, you know that you're going to get good food at a good price at the next exit. And you can go in and you have the kitschy decor. It makes you feel like you're at home or in grandma's living room. That's what people want. They don't want bland, boring, cookie cutter, minimalist places that feel like fill in the blank fusion restaurant.
Okay. Once again, I don't care what he has to say. Every time that Democrats or progressive or people with common sense talk about an issue that actually matters, what do they say? Even if it's the craziest person that they found on TikTok with like 15 followers saying the craziest thing, they say, oh, look at this person right here is a Democrat. They're the far, far, far super max left. So this represents all you guys. And then now we have to play defense like, no, blah, blah, whatever the case is. No, I'm sorry. The individual that was mad had millions of Republican followers. It is safe to say this is a Republican argument here. They're not going to sit here and backpedal and say, oh, no, it's not us. It's not MAGA. Nah, that person represents all you guys. I'm sorry. But that's just how we're going to have this fight right here.
I believe you. I believe that you believe that.
Did you all get that?
But I have to point out there are two main things. One, Cracker Barrel has not been doing well. I hate to break it to you, but long before all of this, going all the way back to, from my look at this graphic, July 2021 or thereabouts, the stock has been in decline. Okay, so this is a brand that's been in trouble for some time. But then on top of that, listen, I'm not it's not just me saying it's MAGA. Okay, here's Byron Donalds, a sitting Republican congressman. He says, in college, I worked at Cracker Barrel in Tallahassee. I even gave my life to Christ in their parking lot. Their logo was iconic. Their unique restaurants were a fixture of American culture. No one asked for this woke rebrand. It's time to make Cracker Barrel great again.
Okay, once again, it is hilarious to hear someone like Byron Donalds sit here and glorify a restaurant, whatever the hell it is. I honestly don't care. To glorify this, acting like it's a sanctuary. I gave my life to Christ at a Cracker Barrel parking lot. I was going to say some things about a parking lot and what you be doing to the Republican Party, but I'll let you figure that out. You can fill in the blanks. But once again, Byron Donalds, please, we know that you love the Cracker Barrel. Okay, that is who you represent. That is who you're fighting for every single time you speak. So once again, we know your position.
A woke rebrand?
Not everything is woke. I think we're abusing the term a little bit too much where it's losing its meaning, and that's really important because some things actually are woke and we should call it like it is. However, in this case, from a marketing perspective, if revenues are declining, you got to switch it up, you got to implement a new strategy. But who at that roundtable was thinking to themselves, yes, let's go back to the minimalism of 5 years ago that is sterile and bland and neutered, and let's rob this iconic, timeless company of all of its character and charm and fun history and country vibe. That's not super smart. Maximalism is the moment. And also Gen Z, we love Cracker Barrel.
There's a lot of bad corporate decision making happening.
But isn't that capitalism?
Right. Aren't they allowed to make mistakes?
And the market will decide.
Supposed to stand
and the market will
private
decide.
Companies to be able to make their own decisions about their strategy, their offering, their brand, evolving to meet their consumers' needs. And by the way, the 4 Cracker Barrels that actually already underwent this transformation of the new branding apparently are doing very well and are meeting earnings. So to your point,
so to your point, let me play what the CEO said because she kind of spoke to that. Let's listen to this.
I think what's important is that we are listening to our guests. We're doing this all for them. What they've said is they love the new seating. We're adding in booths, making the chairs more comfortable. But what's important is things that people love about Cracker Barrel, the soul of Cracker Barrel is not changing. The rocking chairs are still there, the fireplace is there, the peg game, all the things that make Cracker Barrel, the vintage decor, it's still there and it's working. The results affirm that we're headed in the right direction.
What if all the customers are coming at you hard enough about the look of the restaurant and they want to go back to the old way? Would you do it?
Honestly, the feedback's been overwhelmingly positive that people like what we're doing.
She's woke.
And once again, corporations can do what they want at the end of the day. Okay, if they feel like it's going to help them financially, that's what they're going to do. But once again, the hypocrisy, which Republicans seem to not understand what that means because they do it very well. It is crazy how they're always telling Democrats or progressives that we're always bringing up the race card. We're always trying to find race in anything and everything. But they change a logo and the first thing they say is woke. Because they took a white man off of a logo, and that means that what? It's not white anymore, or it's not for white people, or, it's going to become more brown, and all of a sudden, you're going to have Juneteenth events being held at these places. Like, what does it mean? What does that mean just because they took him off the logo? But no, it's wokeness, right? You always got to tie it back to politics. Always got to tie it back to black and brown people somehow, some way. And the guy before who had the CEO next to a LGBTQ flyer. So once again, got to somehow, some way tie this to gay people. Like, gay people are taking over Cracker Barrel. Like, come on, guys, for real.
You say not everybody in MAGA is part of this. Well, welcome to what it feels like to have been a moderate Democrat for like the last 10 years, when anything the most lunatic person on the left said was assigned to absolutely everyone on the other side. But
I have to say, the president's son,
well, first of all,
this is not just like a lunatic.
You know what's funny about that is he lying. He don't know nothing about Cracker Barrel. He did not grow up with Cracker Barrel. He has no clue. They're not dipping the crackers into caviar. He don't know nothing about what he's talking about. He has no clue. It's a lot of people. This is the thing that annoys me about this the most. It's like, just stop giving them stuff to cry about. Like, I get it. Like, this whole thing, I understand that the want is to continue to move and all of this, but now we get to get stuck on another meaningless cultural war. Where there's real stuff that's actually going on.
On a serious note, and I'm sorry to have interrupted you, Terry, but on a serious note, the undercurrent of a lot of this is that this is a company that no longer has a policy of not hiring LGBTQ people, that has tried to create a workplace environment that is welcoming to all of its employees. And for that reason, people like right-wing activist Robbie Starbuck are saying that they are woke. There is an undercurrent that if you acknowledge the existence and perhaps the humanity of people who are LGBTQ or whatever, then suddenly you become woke and suddenly you become entitled to this kind of backlash.
And once again, this right here, depending on where you're watching, either here or there, this tells you, and Abby said that very well. Anytime you're thinking outside of whiteness, outside of what white people need, what white people want, it's considered woke. You can't think about nobody else except for white people and keeping them on top. You don't do that, that's what they're going to call you. So once again, let's just be honest. They don't care about politics. Can we finally get over that conversation? It's not about economics. They didn't vote for Trump because he's going to, lower prices of anything. No. They just want Trump to preserve whiteness and do his best to keep them on top. That's simple.
A weird fringe on both sides. Most people just want breakfast. They really don't want to fight about who's, and they live and let live. We are fair-minded, decent people who mostly live and let live. You see somebody who's maybe different from you at the Cracker Barrel, they're going to storm out. How dare they have somebody stay in there? They probably will.
And I will say, the reaction to this is
to hire somebody. Well, actually,
by basically saying that we are going to be overtly progressive in our posture.
That's a corporate decision that they are allowed to make. If people don't want to go eat there, they don't have to. But to attack the company, to do this cancel culture thing, which I thought the right opposed cancel culture. I thought they opposed, supposedly, right? I thought they opposed grievance politics. I thought they opposed victimization. I thought they opposed all of these binaries. But now all of a sudden, they don't like this company because it's too woke, and they want to cancel the company.
By the way, a couple things. Number one, I actually don't agree that it's just the fringe of the right. I think the president and other people, they run on these cultural war issues. Right. They took Sydney Sweeney and the entire discourse around Sydney Sweeney and blew it up when they needed a lifeline from everybody's laser focus on other things. I think that the cultural war issues right now are actually steroids to the people that want to use the changing of America and the perceived changing of America as ammunition to ram through all of these policies. I think that there's a definite through line between this right here and
someone who lives in the Midwest.
Just want a normal revolution? You don't think most Americans just want normal? Because what Cracker Barrel had before.
What's abnormal? I don't know.
The average American is.
What's the average American?
Let's rip a logo that didn't need to be changed.
A logo that didn't need to be changed. Who cares? That's my point. How is that affecting people? When people see the logo, are they reminded of like a history of white genocide or something? Or like when they see, Uncle Tom or whatever his name was off the logo, does that like remind them of when white people were like, down and under and just being oppressed and segregated? Like what does that mean? I need to know historical evidence of why people are so outraged of a changing of a logo. Once again, if nothing ties into it that has a history and has some data to back it up, at the end of the day, it is a pointless conversation. Once again, the American Eagle commercial in this situation are two totally different things. The American Eagle commercial, they pulled out history that killed people, that segregated people, just on the basis of they believed that their DNA made them less than and made white people greater than. What does Uncle Tom being off the logo mean? It means nothing. But that's all Republicans have to fight over. If they don't have culture wars or culture conversations, they have nothing at all.
Up to you. That's not up to MAGA.
We don't know why, but we don't know why they changed the logo. I don't understand. I mean, the assumption here is that they took the white guy off the logo, but maybe they just changed the logo and simplified it. I don't know. I mean, we just actually don't know.
Rebrands.
But now the lobby
looks
looks like a Holiday Inn, which is weird.
People don't have to like the logo, and maybe they'll change it back. But like, it's.
Pete, you were saying.
Well, I just wanted to say, as someone who actually lives in the Midwest, in the heartland of America, I have a lot of friends who are watching tonight. When they saw the intro and we were going to talk about Cracker Barrel, my phone blew up. And they said, I am so angry. I hope you express that anger. They're actually, they're in touch with what people are talking about and upset with.
Are they angry? Have they gone to Cracker Barrel in the last year?
I haven't asked them, but I'm sure they have.
I think this is very important because I do think that there are a lot of people who are going to get angry about these things, but they're not stepping foot in a Cracker Barrel.
So you think this rebrand is going to get people in the door?
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying the CEO is saying that it has been positively received by people who are actually coming in the restaurant.
I will tell you this, though. This rebrand is buying Cracker Barrel publicity that they could not have dreamed of. Now, what
a falling stock price.
What the consumer does after that, I know I'm probably going to check it out. I say that all the way. I say Brother Barrel. I say put a brother on the side and just go all the way to really get people talking. If this gets under y'all skin, let's go more. Let's go.
Hey, he makes a good point. I would find a Cracker Barrel out there. I'm pretty sure it has to be somewhere in Colorado. Colorado is a white state. I'm pretty sure there is somewhere. I would go and eat there once a week if they put a brother on that logo. Right? Just huge. And it can't just be any brother. He has to have a fro and one of those like pork chops type of sideburns. I'm talking about all the way brother. Not Carlton looking. You know what I'm saying? Which once again, there's nothing wrong with Carlton. But they need to put a brother on that logo. And I will be a committed, loyal customer of Cracker Barrel. It'd be Brother Barrel. Maybe. Okay, that was a whack joke. But at the end of the day, things like this don't matter. It's not rooted in any historical events. People are just mad, or Republicans are mad because they feel like their whiteness, once again, in these pointless, changes, they feel like it's an attack, a personal attack on them. And if that's what you tie your existence in, within a logo, you're in trouble. I'm sorry, this is 2025. You're in trouble. That's simple. What? Hey.
Let's see how you do under pressure. I've been wanting this shit forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Ain't no errors, baby, it's a new era. I wake up early feeling rich like I'm Kesha. I get to the paper, boy. Extra, extra.